reflecting on this clip. Bobby Hemmings spoke about their ancestors in a way that flips everything we were taught.
We're not talking about a disrespect, we're talking about a chain of command. And what it is we got to take command over our destiny by using the forces. You see what I'm saying? Not bowing down to the forces or trying to pander to the forces, because the forces don't work when you come to them humble now. Because we're talking about we're talking about a God grown again. We did that for thousands of years. So now I use the forces. As a matter of fact, I was in Indianapolis. I woke up that morning, it was raining. I called up Oya and I called up, I said, now wait a minute. The black people ain't gonna come out if it's raining. Now what in the hell are y'all assholes making this shit rain when you know damn well we're working for you too? Listen, we're all in this together, shit. And sure enough, as soon as I said that the rain stopped, the sun came out, and sure enough, right after I got through, the rain poured down like crazy. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, the energy is out there now, but it needs someone to channel it. That's what our role is. That was ordained for us in the last days to get your power. That's the same thing I was talking about last night, where Christ comes and takes the force of Satan, which is the raw power energy, and he uses that. He's using that particular power because he's conquered that power. So the key is that's not necessarily true. I don't want to f with no damn spirits that can't get in front of no damn camera and shit based on electromagnetic force fields, because based on stuff what's getting ready to go down, we need some real deal power to kick his ass when it all go down. So the ones I call on, they better come and do this shit right. You know, and based on that, we're talking about a chain of command, and we're also talking about going back to see the movie Last Dragon. The man was always looking for the master in the movie, and come to find out he was the master. You see what I'm saying? So that's the key right now. We get too much respect for the ancestors, and the ancestors ain't nothing but a damn nigga that lost the body. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? And some of them are confused too. Don't let nobody fool you. Some of our ancestors and some of the gods are lost because they are random energies in an abandoned zoo. And the only reason how they ever get to the particular point where they're directed the right way is you got to conceive of it and you got to line it up, because the simple fact that's our task.
He wasn't being disrespectful. He was telling us, stop worshiping energy that's confused. Some of these spirits are just wandering, no direction, no focus, until we line them up.
So therefore we do it on the thing. Plus you got to realize this particular part. If you put the libation on the video and a person's in the house somewhere in Alabama watching the actual video, this particular libations can also electrify his house and give him the energy right in the crib. You see what I'm saying? And that person might have a revelation. You see, because people listen to the video with the libations and went in and had doggone multiple dreams and the lucid dreams. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about all of that particular stuff was archetypes of the collective unconsciousness, but we are taught based on the ancestors, because that was the last cycle. The last cycle was, we worship, and we don't worship shit. We are the goddamn ancestors, because I'm going to show you something. Guess where the ancestors go when they leave your body? They go and live inside of you. They live inside of you. That's where your ancestors are. Each man has his own universe, and when the ancestors go, they live inside of you. So when you speak to ancestors, you're only magnifying your own power. You're only magnifying your own power because they are all in a part of you. We're talking about the same substance, the same substance. And time out for all this old righteousness and beautiful and all that old fucked up shit, old African shit, the same old, all this here beautiful and praise the beauty. It's war time now. Sure. So fuck the white man and fuck any asshole that don't want to get down with the show. You see, and I'm only telling tell you what the Legba told me in the damn Mauritius. They said, man, we can't help you no more. That was in 95. I said, what? It was 96. I said, we cannot help you anymore. Because you are dependent on us and you're looking at us as an objective entity outside of your own self. Until you come to us like you come to your brothers on the corner, don't come to us. And what was that? That was a way of teaching me that basically, you understand that we are all the same pattern. So at this particular time, I don't try to give the type of respect to the ancestors no more than I give the same people in this room. That's why I say, hey, if you pouring libations, if we trying to be one with the gods, you understand what I'm saying, or one with the forces, it's kind of stupid to exclude the forces when we're the same damn forces and the forces is inside of us. You understand what I'm saying? You on the video, so they be on the video. And so you got to start looking at these things as random forces of energy, no different than bleach, Ajax, washing powder, gasoline, gunpowder. You understand what I'm saying? A nigger knocker, a whipstick, or whatever you want to call the shit. You got to look at it that way, and you are the one that's in control of that thing, because you are the Heru, the warrior. And you harness their energy, not the ancestors, oh, protect me, oh, it's all about you. You see what I'm saying? See, the Yoruba and all that stuff blew that out of proportion for the simple fact that when they were in the mystery schools, they understood at the particular time, because they had a mystery system in West Africa, just like you had the one in East Africa. And they understood that ultimately the initiate first comes in, and the initiate comes in and he learns all about the gods and all this type of stuff. When he gets to a certain age, about 30, they come in and say, hey, look, them gods you've been worshiping, they you. Are they gods just like you? And he has to deal with the point, if he's going to become a god and be one like God, he has to identify with them, and he has to literally take the next 10 years of his life to erase this whole thing based on him being separated from the gods. But after the priests had to go up underground based on degeneration and based on colonization and based on wars, they went up underground, and so therefore the mystery, the higher component died out, and the regular people just started worshiping the entities. So about the law, this and all that kind of thing, which are 7 major deities, 7 chakras. There's how many hundred other major deities or deities? You got chakras and glands, and it's all nothing but the mechanism of your own body. But they lost that magic. So now we got all the new Egyptians, and everybody calling on Osiris and all that. They ain't doing nothing but calling on their own damn self. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get out of this whole Christianized, Judeo-Christian mentality. You understand what I'm saying? The way we view these Kamite deities, they are formulas. But they are not just formulas outside of you, they are your formulas. You see what I'm saying? They're your formulas and all. And that's the point about it, why people not being trained that much in the occult to understand this particular stuff. You got to push the envelope to the point whereas you got to stop making it an objective entity outside of yourself. You see? So my thing, based on what I know, and I know how this shit works. You see, I know how this stuff works. You got to doggone include them as a part of you. So therefore, we will pour libations on the damn camera in the goddamn bathroom. I'm on the damn toilet. I call on the shit. I thought about saying, damn, this is kind of a foul place to call up Ogun. I said, wait a minute, motherfucker, I'm Ogun. I'm sitting on Ogun. He's taking a damn shit. See? And we got to constantly, and this is a hard thing, because we got to constantly deal with this, because we've had thousands of years of worshiping. And it's very lonely without a God. You understand what I'm saying? Above you, whereas the God being a part of you in the force of the force that you are actually the agent carrying out God's work. So it's very lonely when you don't have something to bow down to. It's very lonely. So therefore, it's no different than moving out of the house the first time and be by your damn self. You move out with some friends, you can get through it, but by yourself, you move out of the house the first time. It's very lonely when you ain't got no, when your mom and daddy ain't around. When it's the same hierarchy when it comes to the God realm. You are now adults. You are now adults. And you're not supposed to pray to them, you're supposed to demand. And you got to demand seriously, just like you ever got mad at a person? You get mad and grit your doggone tooth? That's power. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to demand this, and and that happened. But don't demand on no bullshit, because that's not what the energy is for. So don't demand to have no damn fur coat. But I'm saying I demand for my fucking lights not to get cut off. You see what I'm saying? And you got to literally demand these things because you're using the same forces. You see what I'm saying? Don't pray to them. Quit praying. You see what I'm saying? Quit praying. So we call on them and all, but it's the same energy, and that's the thing we have to drive home, because we don't get it. We are the gods. Who are to come is our own self. That's what the whole Christ mechanism is all about. You see what I'm saying? There is no God but man, because man is the acting agent of God. It's something like God is called a nothingness. It has all the potential in the world, but without a plug or without a machine that actually takes the electricity and turns it into something, it's just what you call stagnant. You see, it's not connected. So we are the agent, or what you would call the perfecting agent of God, of the nothing. So therefore, we don't supposed to be bound down to the nothingness, because the nothingness put itself in motion as us to do what the hell it wants. But somehow in his journey to do what he wants, he got hit in the damn head, and the other part got separated, the other part looking back thinking that's God, and it's the same damn shit. It's like being in the same house, wanting to get to another part of the doggone house, but the door is closed and you thinking the house is totally separate. You thinking the house you want to be is down the street, but it's just a door away. You see, so that's what we have to deal with at this particular time, is becoming, and it's almost as a therapeutic, psychological thing on what you have to deal with on that particular level. Once I got above that, now I do what the fuck I want to do. I want to scratch my ass, I scratch my ass. You understand what I'm saying? I purposely do things out of the moralistic realm, including thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what we're talking about, the same force. That force that hit Jamaica the other damn night ain't got no shit to drop about no Bible, about no moralism, what I want to do. This type of stuff, it hit Jamaica and killed ass. Well, that's the same force that's inside of us, and that's what we got to understand. And until we realize that, the white man understands. That's what moralism and slave religions are about. They keep you from your higher self. And your higher self is called the monstrous soul. That's what it is. All the monsters you see on the monster movie, that's us. Ridley Scott went over to Europe and made a whole movie called Alien. Alien 1 through 4. And that alien you see is us. You see, is us. He got it from the Necronomicon, and Ridley Scott was a member of the Crowley's OTO. And that whole alien thing. And so, but when you see the alien, you are terrified, because the alien see you dead. Ain't no, let's figure this shit out. Ain't no playing no cards. Ain't no compromise. You dead. You understand? He got that over in Europe when he went over and saw the man's work. What's the guy name? He did he created the stuff for Species too. H. Geiger, H.G. Geiger, and he saw his works and he took the adaptation of his work and made Alien from it, because H. Geiger went over and helped him on the set to make the alien thing. But you see how the alien was no shit. He saw you died. Well, that's talking about the monstrous soul of the black man. You saw it bleed the acid. In the alchemical text, they say the philosopher's stone of God, which is melanin, is the most perfect acid. You see, so this is what this stuff is actually dealing with, and this is the level we have to get to at this particular time, because we got too many damn charlatans, we got too many preachers, and we got that, but we don't have enough people that is demonic. That's the key. It's not demonic as far as you. It's the white man's devil. This is how he views you. You get where I'm coming from? He's scared of you because he understands that you have a certain warrior energy, and you know what? This is the key. This is one thing that they don't let you know. Do you know that there's no text in Egypt, Samaria, Greek, Babylon, or none of the ancient world that talk about Christ being some Jesus loved the little children, all that love shit. All of the Christ, from Hercules to Horus to Dionysus to all of that, is killing this docile bitch and gave it to the people, said this is the Hebrew Christ, the Hebrews or the Jews at that particular time said, hell no, that ain't the Christ. Remember, that came out of Egypt. They said, no, the thing that's coming at the end of the days is a killer. You see, is a killer. It is the predator. They said, no, this is not it. They said, this is not the Christ. Not no motherfucker talking about love and little babies and lambs and all that old bullshit. They took alchemical symbology and made a little pussified, coctified little doggone man walking around. That's Paul and Josephus. You don't find that shit beyond nobody else. You don't find that beyond, or you don't find that before that particular period of time. And that's a political shit to control a group of people around the world. You see what I'm saying? With all that old bullshit, you got that doctrine and all this kissing and hugging and all that shit. The Christ energy is a destructive, demonic force that's supposed to come back in the last days to fuck the universe. And literally the entire universe. They say when the gods see him up there, they bow down to him. You see what I'm saying? And it's right there in the Bible if you look at it. But all this other little old doctrine is political, social, economical, and slavery. And that's what Paul did because he was under the authority of the Roman government and the church, and the Romans wanted to take a religion that they can put on people to make people bow down. So they had to take all of the warrior principles and make it into some old coctified ass sucker. So, let's go. All right. Yeah. I'm in rock. I said, come. I said, Bob. I said, you see what I'm saying? Which later on was degenerated into demon. There's a book called Damianic Reality. Damianic Reality. It explains all of this on what this whole daemon thing is. The word Agos Damian is Tahuti, which also equals melanin. The 72 demons of Goetia having 50 to 60 other demons of melanin, as well as 10,000 legions, because a legion means 10,000. A legion means 10,000. And that's what we're dealing with the whole Solomon thing, which is nothing but Osiris and the energy of Osiris. This is the Goetia of Solomon the king. But the problem is you get this and you try to work the magic. See, what's happening is the reason why the government is putting out all this magic shit because it don't work no more. See, the cycle is gone now. A lot of this magic stuff, other than a few things that you can do, they don't work anymore. That's why I told you, where's that book on? You got it up here. Oh, I got it up here. Yeah, okay, I think I put it in here. That's why, wait a minute.
It's on the table. Here
it is. That's why this one is one of the better ones. This book here, The Magician, Studies in Effective Magic by Philip Cooper. Because in here, see, a lot of the magic stuff don't work. That's why they're putting all this shit in. You can go to a regular bookstore and buy all that magic. It don't work now because the cycle, a lot of stuff was for another cycle. That cycle has changed now. Now, the magic is supposed to be mental power, where you're supposed to not do a practical application, but you're supposed to will this shit in the mind. So they putting out all of this type of stuff. So when you go back, you be doing these little rituals and shit, and you ain't getting nothing. The key is just to study this to get an affirmation of what your own powers are. So it's like a case study. So you can look at the text and actually see the power in it. So it's more of a study than it is a practical application. That's why they started letting all that shit out. Don't let them fool you. If this shit was dangerous, the white boy wouldn't let it out. You understand? So the key is to get it into the subconscious, other than the technique. So, in the book, I want to read it to you. This book here deals with the subconscious. On page 2, Philip Cooper's book, Magic, a study in effective magic. So you can also use this in the subconscious just for, not just magic as far as trying to blow up something, just for shit that you want to deal with and put energy to it, just whether you're on the job or whatever. Somebody fucking with you, or you want to get another promotion. This magic is supposed to be used for everyday life on that level. So therefore, you use it and you will it. and they got to give it to you. You understand what I'm saying? So he goes into the science and he said, well, let me give you a few exercises at the end just to build a psychic laboratory. So he's not necessarily saying you get into all the ritual and all that stuff. He said, we'll just give you these exercises so you can know the power of your own mind. But it says, page 2, the subconscious mind is a powerhouse, which is inside of you. Anytime you hear the word subconscious, that means melanin. Dreamland. The subconscious mind is a powerhouse. It creates around us all that it believes to be true, according to the instructions we give it. So if you believe that the white man is God, until you get that shit out of your mind, he gonna be God. And your shit gonna be less. Because your subconscious it's a cosmic computer. And it's only gonna deal with what you tell it. So if you don't change your thinking, you don't get it. You didn't have this shit go. That's how the world is. The melanin is called the shadow, and the shadow is what? A reflection. It's only a reflection of what your conscience gives it. So I told you I bypassed some other damn zodiacs and shit because I told myself, hey, I'm the shit. You see, that's confidence. You see where I'm coming from? So, the subconscious mind is a powerhouse. It creates to you, all around you, what it believes to be true. So whatever it believes to be true, that's what it's going to deal with. According to the instructions you give it. Everything around you and everything that has been attracted to you is like a magnet. It is impossible to stop this creation process. Even when you leave the earth, it will continue, it will carry on creating for you and serving you. So that's why I was saying, that's what I'm saying about this libation and all that shit. You got to get on top of that because this is your own subconscious that you deal with. And we are at a war to regain our consciousness. They tell you in doom, the sleeper must awake. The sleeper must awake. He must take the water of life. The water is called your subconscious. It's called the wave, the ocean. That's Leviathan, your subconscious. So even after you leave, it keeps on serving you. For this purpose, to attract to you all what you need. It does not reason. It just accepts instructions that are believed to be in your best interest. Before it will change its created pattern, it has to conceive the new instructions to be valid. This is where the will and the conscious mind comes into picture. And what this means is the white boy is giving you his reality, his computer. And no matter how much you quote it and say that the black man is this and the black woman is this and I'm the God is this and I'm all that, until you get it out of the subconscious, you still a goddamn slave. You get where I'm coming from here? Because the subconscious does not reason. It only accepts what you're giving it. And you might be giving your consciousness, giving it all this shit, but you're giving your subconscious the same old bullshit that you grew up with. Well, let's go and see what he says about that. This is an awesome book. Because they got some of these books on this magic stuff. A lot of these people are writing this shit because the X-Files is out. So shit, this new age man is hot. So they gotta make books to make money. And the Lou Ellen and all these people are telling them, hey, we need people to come in. So they write a whole lot of bullshit. They don't even know what they're talking about. But every now and then you get a person that has studied and he know what the deal is. And he can cut through all the complicated stuff. And that's when a person really knows that he can simplify stuff. So this particular book here is one of the better books out of all that stuff. And at this particular time, it's probably the only one you need on magic because you're trying to deal with the subconscious other than a whole lot of ritual. You see what I'm coming from here? Now, I want to read something to you here. Look, the chapter on the magical mind. Let me see, hold on. The magical mind, page 35. Y'all all right? Yeah. Listen. Okay. Before moving, so he's saying that in actuality, the subconscious has to deal with everything, but what's happening is that somebody done gave you some facts in reality. Now look at this. Before moving to the ultimate power of the subconscious mind, we ought to spend a little time looking at what we call facts. Since your birth, much of what you know has been given to you by someone else. You see, your parents, your teacher, society, television, and so on. You have been given the facts, and your subconscious mind has been been acting on these facts ever since. From now on, you must question these facts to say if they are indeed really true. To see if they, if they are indeed really true. Or most important, if they are true for you. Because what's the white man's true for him and works for him might not be for you. You see. As I have already mentioned, quite widely known that your character is modeled the first 2 years of your life. From then on, you accept you are set in your ways. Do you remember the idea that I have given in chapter 1 on the traditional lines of thinking? And it goes on to say that basically it's all based on all this particular stuff. And here's one: even if you are not a Christian, as I am not, you still have to conform to Christian ideas of dogma. You see, and now millions of laws that prop up the original 10 Commandments. And there are still many things that you cannot do on Sunday. And if you go into court, you are expected to swear oath to a Christian Bible. So it goes into saying that this Christian church, like I was saying, all this shit he has got you locked down and fucked up in the mind. And even when we become Afrocentric in consciousness, we just change the damn deities, but we still look at them with a Judeo-Christian and even Islamic view. Because there's also an esoteric Islam, and that shit'll bound down to our lives bullshit to another form of slavery. Like Dr. Ben said, you jumping from the pot to the goddamn frying pan. Either way, you're going to get burnt anyway. Because there's always the esoteric counterpart. There's Sufism, which is the real shit. And Islam comes from some Persian shit called Ismailianism. You see what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about that because, see, that's the shit that they got up in Princeton that they hide from your ass. But if you go to Barnes and Nobles, or if you can order them and look at the Ernos papers, they call some books put out, edited by Joseph Campbell. And they call it Ernos papers. And one of the writers is dealing with the real Sufism is called Henry Corbin, if you want to get real Sufism. And there's a whole shit on there on Ismailianism, and that's where Islam comes from. It's type, Ernos papers. Also, the Persian is nothing but Cushite Arabian from Ethiopian Arabia, Cushite and Persia, same black people, and that's your Sufism. Muhammad and shit was just taught the esoteric thing and stuff based on to teach a savage white Arab. You see what I'm saying? By Bilal. So the religion is a Bilalian invention. He didn't know how to read all right, so he didn't know motherfucker whispered in. Even if a person whispered in his ear, he couldn't write the shit down. It was Bilal that wrote the fucking Quran. You see what I'm saying? Wrote the Quran. So we're talking about these facts and this blueprint. So this particular thing here, so the Goetia, you just get this as a case study to understand the seals and the chakras and all that type of thing. Because they also talk about Leviathan. They're going to break the heads of Leviathan in Isaiah. Those heads are these seals. These different seals. And once these seals are broken, you see what I'm saying? 7 major seals. Once they are broken, you see what I'm saying? These Damianic energies, which is the melanin energies, will retake the earth from the cracks of the universe. You see what I'm saying? Will retake the earth and the whole universe and oust this old cycle of gods that's ruling this shit and got us down here at slavery. Because now's the time to come back.
That would be the Omen.
Now, in the Omen, yeah. How many people got problems with this stuff?
Go ahead, man.
All right.
Praying 5 times a day, Lord.
All that old bullshit. Praying is begging and keeping you down here. That's slavery. So let's go on. We got a lot to deal with right now. Let me get some of my other stuff right now because I want to deal with a couple other things right here. Let me deal with this Prometheus thing right now. Azazel is Prometheus, so you get the movie Azazel. Also, go and get if you just get, because I want you to get a mythology book. I want you to get one that covers all mythology. So get that guy David Adams Leaning's book that I talked about last night, which is mythology. It's called The World of Myth and Anthology. It's book 1. Then the other one is Mythology, The Voyage of the Hero, and then it'll give you all the mythology around the world. from Native American, all that stuff. So you'd be like an encyclopedia. Get that particular book because most encyclopedias, they only give you short passages. This particular book, he split it up into 2 volumes, so he deals with stuff extensively. A very good book to get. David Adams Leeming. David Adams Leeming. The name of one of the book is The World of Myth, an anthology. The other book is Mythology, The Voyage of the Hero. The Voyage of the Hero. Azazel taught the man the art of reading and magic and civilization to raise him up from his wretched state. That's so the fall, and he was cast out because of that. Lucifer did the same thing in another particular one. Samuel told him to bite from the golden apples. We'll get into that in a few minutes, from the tree of life, as well as Prometheus in the Greek thing did the same thing. Taught man this particular thing. Azazel is Prometheus. Prometheus is the Christ. Prometheus. There's a book out on Prometheus you can get. The name of the guy, the author, is called. I got another book by him, but the one you want to get is his name is K-E-R-E-N-Y-I. K-E-R-C-K-E-R-E-N-Y-I. And that particular guy has a book out on Prometheus, which is the same. He shows parallels as Christ. Prometheus was staked to a cross, and a vulture tore out his liver. Jesus was staked to the cross, and they pierced his side with a sword. So you see this particular mythology reoccurring over and over and over again until Paul decided to make the shit historical and fool every damn body. But Prometheus later on becomes Satan. You see what I'm saying? One in the doggone same. If you get the Kabbalistic breakdown for the word serpent in the Garden of Eden, and Christ and Messiah, I think it's 556, is the same damn number. You see what I'm saying? So Prometheus stole fire from the gods. Prometheus stole fire, and the fire he stole was a glowing charcoal. That's melanin. From the chariot of the sun. You see what I'm saying? And from the chariot of the sun. So it is this particular part, he stole a glowing charcoal. This is in Robert Graves' book, Greek Myths. Then the glowing charcoal from the chariot of the sun is telling you right there that both that charcoal melanin is the shadow, but it also tells you, when he say the chariot of the sun, is talking about a certain energy or the star energy. Now it's interesting because see, this white boy just put out this thing in this is the November issue called Starfire, the Goal of the Gods. Now it's in Nexus magazine, October and November. So this is part 1. It's a 3-part thing. Now what he's trying to front here is that there's a bloodline from Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ, the Masonic people and people that rule the world knew that Jesus Christ never existed as a physical person, that the Jesus Christ was a race of people that would be on the earth at the end, which is us. So on one thing, he's saying the bloodline to the Christ because simple fact that because they fool the whole world and thinking that Christ is a Jew or a white Jew. First they say he's a Jew, then they get these fake Jews that came in Spain and fake the black Jew out. You see what I'm saying? And so now they're trying to make a bloodline, and they're trying to establish the Christ shit for white people. So on one thing, the scholarship that he's dealing with is bad. He's dropping it, but he makes sure, and he takes it back to Egypt, but he makes sure he keeps it with Cain and Abel in the Judeo-Christian line, because it debunks his theory if he says Horus. Or either go back to the Greek shit and bring it back to the mythological thing. So, but in his article, he's talking about this starfire. Now, on one of the parts of the article, on page 31 of the book, so you're going to go and pick this up now because it's on the newsstands now at Borders Bookstore, Barnes and Nobles and stuff, you see what I'm saying? And he also bears witness to this. First of all, in Jeremiah's book of the beginning, Jeremiah's natural Genesis. He's going to in ancient Egypt, light of the world. In the part on, he has a section in ancient Egypt, light of the world on Revelations. And he identifies the beast in Revelation. He says a god Sebek, the crocodile deity. A crocodile deity, the god Sebek in ancient Kemet. Massey identifies that. Now, in this, they say that the kings in early succession reigned in summer in Egypt before the kings of Israel, were anointed upon the coronation with the fat of a dragon or sacred crocodile. Sacred crocodile. So the dragon, beast, crocodile. This is the noble beast that is referred to in Egypt as Messi, which from the Hebrew verb anoint. The king of the dynastic successions were referred to as dragons or Mashiachs, the anointed ones. So in actuality, he's telling you that the dragon or the beast, he's saying the whole thing, that there's a connection between the beast in Revelation and Christ, the anointed one, is the same damn shit. The dragon and the beast is the actual energy, which I bear witness to you last night. You see, now, the article is called, it's going to be in Nexus Magazine, October and November issue. This is one, Starfire and the Goal of the Gods. Starfire. Starfire is the name of the article, The Goal of the Gods. This is the white boy that wrote the book Bloodline of the Holy Grail. Now, he has a book on this coming out sometime in March or February. But he's going to drop the 3 articles in the next couple of months. But I'm going to read something else that's important in here that he talks about. That he talks about here. Let me show you this particular part here. It says that this strict term, original starfire or lunar essence of the goddess, but even in everyday mundane environment, is called menstruum. Menstrual fluid contains a valuable and darkened secretion, especially those of the pineal and the pituitary glands. The brain pineal gland is particularly and directly associated with the tree of life, which is the same tree that they told you not to eat from in the damn Bible. So he dropped it the same. I've been telling you this before, but now listen to this. The tree of life. And that this tiny gland was to secrete a very essence of active longevity called Soma, S-O-M-A, or the Greeks, ambrosia. You see, that's the food of the gods. You see, the Greeks, ambrosia. Now, most of you probably are familiar with the functions of the pineal glands or the endocrine system. But for those who probably do not know, the pineal is a very special gland, shaped like a pine cone, but it is about the size of a grain of corn. It's real small. That's called the hidden god, or called the small-faced god. The small-faced god. A grain of corn. Now, it is centrally situated within the brain, and although outside of the ventricles and not forming a part of the brain matter as such. Now, the pineal gland was thought to be, by the 17th century French optimist, scientist René Descartes, as the seat of the soul, the point in which the mind and the body is conjoined. The ancient Greeks considered likewise in the 4th century BC, Herophilius described the pineal gland or the pineal organ as regulating the flow of thought. The gland has long intrigued because while the rest of the brain is the double, the pineal gland has no counterpart. Tell me, they're both the right brain and left brain. In the days of ancient Sumer or Egypt, the priests of Anu, the father of Enlil and Enki, protected the I'm trying to get to the point. It protected and elaborated and ramifying the medical science of living substance. Now he goes on and says, the menstrual starfire is being an essential substance. Now he'll go in and he'll talk about all this particular stuff. And he says, for instance, it was pure that the Anunnaki, the lunar essence, anytime you hear the word lunar, that means dark, the dark sun, and lunar essence is melanin. So he double talks. See, he says lunar essence. Now if you go get the movie, The Black Sun, we're going to talk about taking the essence. What's the name of the movie? Dark Crystal. They talk about taking the essence, and the essence make these particular gods who don't have the essence young again. So anytime you hear the word lunar essence, see, he's double, but he's an occultist. That means melanin. You see what I'm saying? Because it means night sun. There's two night suns. There's the moon, and there's the sun at midnight, which is Sirius. But also esoteric, the sun at midnight is the pineal gland. Once the sun at midnight is ignited, you no longer need the sun and the stars out here, which is the holographic universe, to see your way around, for the simple fact your third eye will be opening and this bullshit here will disappear. That's why in the Gospel of Thomas, they say, tell us what heaven is like. And he said, heaven is all around you, but you too drunk to see it. Because you're looking for physical appearance, and he said, you won't find heaven looking for it. With these two eyes, it's the third eye. Because Christ is talking, but guess who's the Christ? The conversation is going on talking to the disciples. The conversation is the pineal gland talking to the rest of the melanin, those 72 Goetia people, or the 12 divisions of the melanin, which has the other army. So Christ and the 12 disciples is the 12 archetypes of the collective unconsciousness, 12 zodiacs, and 12 energies, which is answering to the center of the energies, which is the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? So the conversation is going on. Especially you get the Gospel of Thomas, which is the one that left out of the Bible, which is the true shit. And you will see, this is the pineal gland, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you know you get 12. You know, you get the picture. These people are answering to him, which is going on inside your brain. What is the heaven like? You see what I'm saying? And he's saying, you won't find it looking with these two fucking eyes. It's all around your ass, but you using these two fucking eyes to look, and you can't see it. You get it? So this is something that's going on with the soul, recording all this stuff. The Gospel of Thomas. Excellent piece. But I want you to get see, there's a Gnostic scripture, but I want you to get the ones that was dug up in 1945. Let me explain something to you right quick. Let me just read this and let me explain something to you. Remind me as soon as I read this to explain something to you on what's really going on here. Y'all all right?
Yes.
And it was fed now. Okay, so the lunar essence was called gold of the gods. Remember I said in the alchemy that gold and all that type of stuff that they talk about, anytime you hear the word gold, let's talk about melanin. As a matter of fact, when the melanin that they're talking about outside of the physical body, it comes to a fine gold when all the elements is in it. Inside of the body, the melanin is the blackness and the gold is separated throughout the whole glands. But it's with mercury, it's all these different metals, and when it comes together, it's a gold. You see what I'm saying? So it says it was called gold in the gods and was fed only by the kings and queens of the dragon succession. The word dragon, see, first of all, he's going to do this Hebrew shit, but see, I already know the word dragon comes from the word drakon. And the word drakon is the beginning of something called you get your Typhonian, which is pre-monumental Egyptians. And they were called the Draconians. So when he's talking this dragon shit, he's talking about ancient equatorial black Africans. You see. You get the Hermetic magic, they're going to talk about Typhon, and they're going to say the shit comes, the word Drakon. In the book, Stephen Flowers' book, Stephen Edred Flowers' book, hermetic magic. So see, you got to understand the terminology here. So the dragons in their succession. Later, however, Egypt, Mesopotamia, the menstrual starfire was ritually collected as a sacred virgin process and rendered as the scarlet woman. Indeed, the very ritual seems to practice. The word ritu comes from the word ritual, which is defined in his sacred ceremony of red gold. And he goes into all this particular stuff. But he's actually, he's setting it up to talk about this shit called white powder gold, which we're going to get into before the night is out. Now, let me explain something to you. When Paul wrote, you got the Old Testament, which was written by the Kabbalistic scholars. So the people of the scholars, they took the esoteric thing, and then they wrote a lesser mythology, explaining terminology, the Codex Inscriptus, where it explains the mundane existence, it explains the metaphysical existence. So basically, that's your Kabbalah. They wrote the Old Testament, so your esoteric, as you know I've said before, is your Kabbalah. Your esoteric is the Old Testament, the Torah, which is just, basically it's the laws to rule the people, but it really ain't the real deal shit. It's the Kabbalah is the real shit behind that. So the Kabbalistic people, which come out of Egypt at the Temple of Komodo, wrote the Kabbalah, and then the Kabbalistic wrote the Torah. So, your Old Testament is the Torah. Your New Testament has an esoteric thing where Paul took the Gnostic scriptures and drafted the New Testament from the Gnostic scriptures. So if you want to get the original essence of what that shit was drafted, and all this come out of Egypt now. The Gnostics come from a group of people called the Scythians. So the Hebrews had a book, so they put the Old Testament together. And it took 700 years and all these conferences to damn carve the Bible up. But anyway, the New Testament that Paul wrote, he took the Gnostic scriptures, drafted it into a mundane stuff, but the stuff is still up in the Bible. He drafted it into a mundane document for the Romans. Okay? The original stuff is the Gnostic scriptures that it came from. Then the Romans killed off the damn Gnostics because they knew the Gnostics had the real shit, so they killed them all off. A lot of them off. They later on survived as the Moors, the Cathars, the Mani and Manichaeanism, and they're scattered across the world. But mainly the ones in that area, the original doctrines of some of the ones in that area that they stole it from, they killed them off. Because you know how you get somebody shit, steal their shit. Change the shit to fundamentally be yours so it can control people, but to make sure the people don't get the other stuff, because if you teach them that, they will have access to the other stuff because they will know the mythology of the Bible, and they can go right into the other stuff and say, oh, this is the real deal. So what they did was, they killed the Gnostics off and they burned up all the Gnostic shit. But as you know, this stuff it comes out of Kemet. So the Gnostic stuff survived. And so if you want to get the real deal Bible in the Gnostic, you got to get the Nag Hammadi Library. So only been about, we only had it 52 years because they found it in 1945, right after World War II. The Nag Hammadi Library, edited by James Robinson. And that's your complete Gnostic scripture. Now, if you want to get and that's just the scriptures. Now, if you want to get a breakdown of it, you got to get Bentley Leighton's Gnostic scriptures. Now, the key is, there was a historical person that was teaching all this shit. But he was not teaching it in Palestine, he was teaching it in Egypt. In the 26th dynasty, a guy by the name of Akhenaten. And that's the guy that they attribute all his teachings to, so they even plagiarized another man's teachings. He was the incarnation of Horus, and he was teaching, and he was overthrown by a priesthood of Amen. Because he was teaching the old Typhonian religion of Ethiopia and trying to revise that. Before him, it was Akhenaten. And Akhenaten would have been successful. Akhenaten was an asshole because if you try to revive something, you don't tear down the other priesthood, then the people resent you. So he got rid of all the priesthood and then he had to get the hell on out of there. with his high priest Musa, which later on Moses. That whole thing. So this stuff is all based on another particular person that they plagiarized. So Paul and them knew all that story and all that type of stuff also too. So let's go on. Let's deal with some things here. Let's see what we got here now. Let me deal with some things on my notes right now. We got a bunch of stuff we got to cover.
At the end of the day, Bobby Hemmett was teaching us that power doesn't come from worship. It comes from alignment. The ancestors, they're not gods to bow to. They're energy, waiting on direction. You are the master key. In this dimension, you are the one that calls the spirits to order, not the other way around. Whether it's force field.
Yeah, my motherfucking post hit different when you ain't supposed to be on my motherfucking